Well, what I want, you got, it might be hard to handle. Like the flame that burns a candle. The candle feeds a flame. Yeah, what I got.
Full stock of thoughts and dreams that scatter. And then you pull them all together. And how I can't explain. Well, you make my dreams come true. Well, you. Oh yeah, you make my dreams come true. On a night when bad dreams become a screamer, when they're messing with the dreamer, I can laugh it in the face. Twist and shout. The way you wrap yourself around me, 'cause I ain't the way you found me, and I'll never be the same. Yeah, well, 'cause you, oh yeah, you make my dreams come true. You make my dreams come true. Woo! Listen to this, girl. I'm down on my daydream. That sleepwalk should be over by now, I know. But yeah, you make my dreams come true. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I've been waiting for you, girl.
Waiting on you, boy.
Yeah. You make my dreams come true. Well, 'cause you, oh yeah, you make my dreams come true. You make my dreams come true.
W7, welcome to the 2023 UW-Oshkosh Women's Basketball Signing Day Special. Year number 2, Coach. Welcome back. Thanks again for working with us to put this together, and we're excited to talk about this very special class coming in this year.
I rewatched again, and we talked about coming back next year and a much smaller class, and we nailed that. So I'm excited to be back, and I'm excited to give these girls their flowers and talk about how great they are and how excited we are to have them.
Well, and as we always try to, every year we try to level up and do something a little bit different. This year we have the players with us this year to get help having a smaller class, but this class also, if you know W7, and for our viewers, they know this, and you know this too, the 2023 class was a really special class for us because it's one of those classes that we really got to see when we started, they were in 7th grade, yeah. And so, which is just nuts. So they kind of got to know us through middle school, and then by the time they were freshmen, they really knew who we were. So we really got to meet them and know these kids and just kind of spend time with them and see them go through the whole process. You know, Mallory is always one I think of especially, and Hope as well. We know both of them really, really well over the years. So it's going to be fun talking about this group, and I'm excited about the group that you have. But before we get into all that, let's talk about last year a little bit. Now, let me just start with this. You know, you lost 9 seniors the year before. So, I mean, most people would consider this, okay, this is going to be a rebuild year. 20-9, not bad for a rebuild.
No, when we talked about the class last year, we were talking about replacing half of our team and bringing in 7 new people that had never played a second in college basketball. And obviously we sat here and talked about how talented they are, but so is everybody that's bringing in players. So we were super proud of the season we had, and we learned a ton. We just kept getting better. I thought our attitudes and our approach, and it's kind of who our program is individually for players, but also as a group. And for us to lose All-Americans, all-region players, go to Elite 8, lose over half of our team and then get back to the second round of the NCAA tournament is a huge accomplishment. And we called it a program year. How good is our program, and can the things that we think are important keep carrying over regardless of who we lose and who comes in? And our girls really took to that.
At the same time, kind of showed some youth, right? I mean, a pretty young team. Only 2 seniors graduating in 2023. That's Jenna Jorgensen and Ava. I love Ava Douglas, but both of them moving on. Great seasons for both of them. So you brought in a young team. It was kind of up and down, right? I mean, you lost to Green Bay. You come back, win 6 in a row after that. I mean, after a big loss like that, I mean, that's hard, but it shows to me, it kind of just set the stage for it was a pretty tough team.
Yeah, we found out early that we were pretty good, and then we found out quickly when conference started that we had a lot to get better at, and that was the youth of, hey, we're 6-0, we got it all figured out. Then we showed up and got punched in the mouth a couple times and took a step back and said, what do we actually need to work at? And I thought from that point on till the end of the season, all we cared about was getting better, and I thought that showed, playing into the second round of the tournament.
Expectations for this team into 23, 24, what's the next step, in the progression for this class?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about the difference between going to the second round of the tournament and going to the Final Four, and are we willing to do the work and actually look at ourselves critically and say, what are the reasons we weren't better last year? Where are we going to, make those changes in the off season? Can we individually get ourselves to get up and lift, get into the gym when the coaches aren't around, when your teammates aren't around, and really challenge each other to see how good we can be. And I think there's a lot of comfort sometimes in coming to a good program that you can just show up and your team will be pretty good. But what if we actually just give it everything we have? And what if we put ourselves out there? And if we don't do it, we don't do it. But let's not have it be because we didn't give it everything we had.
Right.
And we've got seniors that are super motivated to lead a group. I think their leadership of, hey, I'm going to do it this way, and this is what you do at Oshkosh to be great. And I think they've really bought into that. And I'm super excited. Our freshmen that are coming back to be sophomores, like they got all that experience. I've never played a class. I've had one class play more minutes than this one did. Sarah Hardwick played more minutes than any freshman ever.
Sarah started almost every game.
Yeah.
She may have started every game this last year.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 matchup-wise early in the year, but once we got going, she started. Kate Hummel started the last half of the season. Mallory played a ton. Avery played a ton. Mara got hurt early, but she played a bunch at the end. So a lot of young experience. Olivia Argel was a redshirt freshman and had a really tough year in her life, but she works super hard and she's super motivated. So we have 3 years left of Liv. So like we have all these young
She's a
Dodgeville
kid. They're tough.
Yeah, we have all these young pieces that got a little bit of a taste of it last year to go with our experience. So we're really excited about what we can do next year. And then we add these 4 to the mix too.
And this class to me is you kind of got a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about, before we get into the individuals, just the thought process, what you were looking for, and I guess what your overall take is on this class coming in?
Yeah, we really like our process and believe strongly in it. I think if you ask these 4, I think they do too. And for us, it's recruit the least amount of girls you can to be the best team you can be and have the best program you can have year to year that makes them want to come back. And we're never going to be a program that recruits 10 or 12 girls a year and has tryouts and says, hey, you guys show up and figure it out. Like, we're going to try to figure out what are the couple of things that we can get better at. Like, who did we lose? We lost Ava, we lost Jenna. What do they do?
Right.
Plus, what are some things that we need to get better at certain positions? And let's just fill it with those people, put a lot of trust in them, and make sure we're on the same page. And I think when you talk to these guys between their own, their own goals, their families' goals, their families' understanding, like, that you don't just get to come to Oshkosh and play 40 minutes a game. It's a little different for everybody. And I think these guys all have a good understanding of what's important to us. I think we have a good understanding of our players. They keep coming back year after year. Our retention has been phenomenal, which is our biggest goal.
Well, we've teased it long enough. We're going to take a quick break and come back with a 3-time state champion from Notre Dame Academy. It is Hope Barrington. Hope Barrington going to be live with us coming up in just a minute. You're watching the 2023 UW-Oshkosh Women's Basketball Signing Day Special. We'll be right back.
Jolly Good Soda. We put the pop in Wisconsin.
W7, we are back with our 2023 UW-Oshkosh Women's Basketball Signing Day special. Brad Fischer, head coach UW-Oshkosh, Barry Wipperman, live. Time to bring in the recruits. Time to start with the first one, three-time defending state champ. It is Hope Barrington. Hope, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Fish, before we get into talking to Hope, I'd love to just get your kind of hot take on Hope and what drew her to you guys and what made her such an important get for you guys.
Yeah, we'll do our best not to embarrass her.
Well, she's a pretty humble kid. I know that. And by the way, I know her grandparents pretty well. They watched a lot of W7
I saw
over the
their
years.
comments
So
a lot when I was watching those too.
We're gonna figure out a way to make sure she keeps getting time, some FaceTime in Arizona with them down there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the way the season ended for Hope, individually and collectively, everyone got to see at the end of the year why we were excited, 8, 9, 12 months earlier. And I think the biggest thing for Hope, like, one, she's going to come in and be ready to defend, and we haven't had our call yet to talk about the biggest things we need from her going into next year, but we're going to need her to defend on the perimeter. And Notre Dame, you don't play unless you defend. Having her in those big games, she's played multiple state championship games, obviously, had a lot of responsibility in who she guards and then just the little things. And she'll be my fourth Notre Dame player since we've been there. They've got 2 in the coaching staff.
It's like a pipeline going on.
Obviously, we've got Sarah, and we feel good, obviously, about the experience we're giving them, that they keep telling these girls this is a good place to go. But I also know that the things that are important to Sarah and their program are the same things that are important to us. So Hope's going to come in and defend hard. She's going to attack. She's going to get to the backboard. And you saw in the state championship game and the state tournament weekend, all the little things that she does, the backside rebounds, the steal. Her and I haven't talked about it, but the steal she got on the inbounds pass in the semifinals when it was a close game with McFarland, and all of a sudden she goes and guards the ball, gets a tip, steal, layup. And those are the types of plays in games where the margin's low, where you flip the whole game. So she makes those type of plays all the time, and she never cares about her stats. Never once did she talk about how many points she scored or anything like that. And for me, it's unselfish people that are willing to do whatever they can to help the team win, and that's who she is.
Well, we'll brag her up a little bit here. We'll give her some stats. 3.8 grade point average. She's going to go to school for social work. 10.9 points per game. 4.5 rebounds a game. 4 assists a game. She was as a senior, they won, of course, conference, regional, sectional, and state. She was first team all-conference, WBCA Division II, honorable mention, 1,000-point club. Hope, can you just talk briefly about what drew you to UW-Oshkosh, as you kind of went through that process? Because I know you had a lot of options. What stood out for Oshkosh for you?
Yeah, I mean, right after talking to Coach Fischer on my visit, I could tell they really wanted to take the player I already was and build on the skills I was already good at. And they weren't trying to change the player I was. So that was a huge thing. And then also, kind of like what Fischer said before, they have similar things that are important to them. So it kind of felt familiar to what we had here at Notre Dame. And obviously, I'm super excited to play with Sarah again. So
what really sticks out is, hey, this is, when I look back at high school, I'll always remember this.
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely say it was the third one, because me being a senior, it was just a really great way to end it, especially because I got to hold the trophy first and give it to the team. So that was really fun.
Hope, thanks for joining us. Looking forward to watch it. We'll see you again this summer when we release our film coming out. But of course, looking forward to watching you play this winter for Oshkosh, and all the best.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, that's Hope Barrington. Coming up next, it is the one, the only Mallory Hoytank from Slinger. Mal, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Fish, give me the skinny on Mal and why she was such an important target for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long process with Mal. She didn't play AU last year, so it started earlier. We were trying to just get a chance to see her as much as we could, and I think one of the best parts about Mal is the things that she prioritized in her process. And my favorite thing about Mal as a person is that she knows who she is. She knows what's going to make her happy, and she knows what's important to her. And she put those things ahead of what other people thought, of what people would tell her to do. And she chased a situation where she can be the happiest. So I'm super excited. I told her I would make sure I helped deliver that for her. And I know she made the right choice, and she's going to be close to home. She's going to have the opportunity to play for championships and be an impactful player. And I think if everyone had the same perspective that she did, college basketball, the transfer portal, all those things that right now people don't like about college basketball would be a lot better. So I'm super proud of her. I've told her parents this, like, I think she's incredibly mature, and she's done a great job observing things happening around her and realizing where your happiness lies. And that's something to strive for everybody. So that has nothing to do with basketball, but,
right.
But that's my favorite part about Mal.
You know, I mean, Mal had 6 D1 offers. I mean, she could have played, you know, in a number of places. I remember you telling me, hey, the kids that get, you know, those, you know, D1, D2 offers, when we hear they're getting those are our kind of kids. Those are the ones that we want to go after. And, you know, having her come and play at Oshkosh, I mean, you've got to be super excited to get her on board.
Yeah, I mean, for us to win a national championship at our level, you have to have scholarship level players. And I always feel like at least half of our roster should be, and by the time they're done playing for us, they would have been. But it's part of, again, that whole experience. What kind of balance do you want in your life? How close do you want to be? How much do you want your family to be involved in your process? And there's so many factors that I think people are paying a little bit better attention to now. But yeah, Mal's going to have the opportunity to make an impact. And, you know, her and I have talked about the things to work on this off season. And the most important stuff for us is getting her ready and getting her on the same page. And we're going to use some of the struggles from last year as motivation to have a great freshman year and hit this thing running.
Well, of course, you know, Chad and Kristen are good friends of ours, Mal's parents. 3.98 GPA this year for all 4 years. High honor roll for 8 semesters. 20 points per game, 4.7 rebounds a game, unanimous first team all conference, honorable mention all state, academic all state, individual elite academic all state, with Sports Net's top senior shooter, 1,000-point club, all-time leading scorer. I mean, the list kind of goes on and on. Mallory, we'll let you talk now. Welcome, and talk to us, if you would, first of all, just about the process for you and you know, what went into it. You and I spoke a few times. I talked to your dad a few times, and I know you guys put a lot of thought into, you know, this process. Can you talk about that and what led you eventually to Oshkosh?
Yeah, I think my recruiting process was really long. So I guess I just had a lot of time where I was just kind of going through it. And I think for a long time, I was still really young. So I wasn't quite thinking about what I really wanted and where I did see myself. So I think kind of a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, I really just started thinking about, okay, like, where can I see myself and where do I want to go? And I did realize, like, part of that is being close to home. I love my family, but also just the moment I started talking to Coach Fischer, Coach Staples, it just kind of felt like a natural fit almost, and just their culture, the way they do things, just everything. It felt like really where I want to go and how I want to spend the next 4 years. So.
Slinger, of course, you had a lot of success there, especially, you know, your first 3 years. You know, I kind of watched your progression. I mean, I always looked at you like Anna Breyer's little sister, you know, when you first came in. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, by the end, I mean, you're kind of the leader on this team. Can you talk about just that process of going through high school and what really stands out for you from your time at Slinger?
Yeah, I think freshman year, I guess, kind of like almost every freshman, it was a little scary at first. I think I knew that I could play with my team. I was just kind of scared my freshman year and didn't, you know, quite put myself out there. But Anna Breyer did really take me under my wing and kind of, you know, taught me leadership and taught me, you know, how to run the team. So then I think by my sophomore year, I feel like my growth was already huge in that and being a leader on the team. So I think the last 3 years kind of built up, and then my senior year especially, just kind of helping keep the team together and just keep the girls smiling, I think was huge. So.
Mallory Hoytank, that's 2 of 4. We're halfway done. When we come back, a kid that's never appeared on W7. She'll make her first ever appearance here next live, and then her second appearance will be a week from Wednesday at the Just a Game Fieldhouse at the Wisconsin Dells. We're coming back with her next. You're watching the 2023 UW-Oshkosh Women's Basketball Signing Day Special. You're watching it on W7.
think we already talked about everything. We're just ready to go.
Yep. Let's get the ball tipped.
Clutch play.
She finishes. Too easy. Oh my, what a finish.
She does what really great players do. They don't play great all the time, but they sure do when they have to, and she has done that in spades tonight. At the buzzer! Got it! She got it!
Jolly Good Soda. We put the pop in Wisconsin.
Welcome back. You're watching the 2023 UW-Oshkosh Women's Basketball Signing Day Special. Brad Fischer, Gary Wipperman, 2 down, 2 to go. The next one never made an appearance on W7 until today. It is Ashlyn Knapp from Prairie du Chien, and Ashlyn will also be at the WBCA All-Star Game that's on W7 on June 28th. So first of all, Ashlyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You betcha. So Fish, give me your hot take on Ashlyn.
Yeah, Ashlyn, our process started back last spring, and the first time we saw her at camp, we knew she could do some stuff, and the biggest thing for her was we just needed to watch her more, and we needed to see, because she's not super flashy. She's not the highest jumper, the fastest kid. Like, she doesn't do anything at a level that just blows people away, but after you watch her, you see she does everything well. And she had some background with our team. Coach Staples knew her. She's played with some of our girls that are going to be juniors. She's all the way from that west side of the state. So that's one reason you haven't seen her on W7.
I know.
She's a trip.
We got to get over there more. we got to find a way to get over. There's some really good basketball.
Really
over
good
there.
Players, and we have a lot of players from down in her area. So I think that probably helped us a little bit, that she knew some of our girls and how good they were. But the more we watch Ashlyn play, we watch her some really high level summer games with Wisconsin Elite, playing against really good players from all over the country. And even her own team had maybe some Division I players and things like that on it. But when the game was being decided, Ashlyn was on the floor. She's not even probably going to be a point guard for us, but she was running the point guard for them. And then, like I said earlier, on her own high school team, they lost a Division I player who went to play at Wisconsin, and they went to the sectional final. And I think Ashlyn's leadership and her just taking control of their game. And again, I want her to get more aggressive and look for her own stuff more, but super selfless. She's a super hard worker, and those tick all the boxes that we talk about when we're trying to build our team. And I think she fits our culture as good as anybody.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. 3.95 GPA. She's going to major in biochemistry. That's way above you and me, buddy.
Yeah, that'll be fun for her.
She's conference champ, regional champ, sectional final appearance. She was the SWC co-player of the year, first team all-conference, WBCA first team all-state, and of course a D3 all-star, captain of the team. And she's only the third player in school history to receive first team all-state for girls basketball. So, maybe not flashy, but certainly productive. 12.7 points per game, 2.7 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 2.1 steals. Of course, their team went 22-5 last year, and that's after Lily graduated to go to Wisconsin. So certainly, she picked right up where Lily left off and led the team to a great season. They lost to the defending state champions last year, Waupun, in the sectional finals. Otherwise, I would have got to see her play in state. But better late than never. So Ashlyn, again, welcome to the program. Talk to me about, if you would, just what attracted you to Oshkosh, and kind of just through the process itself, Ashlyn. What did that look like for you?
Yeah, I would say I went to one of the camps for Oshkosh, and one of the main things that attracted me to it was how passionate Coach Fischer and Coach Staples are towards their program. And that really attracted me to it. And then also being around the girls and watching practice as well just seeing how competitive they are towards each other, but also like really supportive. I really like that about the team. And Coach Fischer talked a lot during like my visits and stuff about a family atmosphere and like that I'd be going into that, and that's something I was really looking forward to as well. So yeah.
So how far is it from Prairie du Chien to Oshkosh? How far is the drive?
3 hours.
3 hours. So not terrible, right? I always say it's far enough that you don't have to go home all the time, but close enough that if you just want to get in the car and go home for a weekend, you can do that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Favorite high school memory, Ashlyn? What stands out for you?
I'd say probably winning the sectional semi this year. We played Platteville, and they're our conference rivals, so that was a big game. We had to beat them 3 times last year, so that was definitely a huge game.
Ashlyn, here's the most important question for you. Has Staples talked to you about babysitting yet? And if so, are you on board with that?
She hasn't yet, but I would definitely be on board.
Ashlyn Knapp, thanks for joining the show. Looking forward to watching you at the WBCA All-Star Game coming up. And, of course, looking forward to watching you on the floor next year at Oshkosh. Thanks for joining, Ashlyn.
Thank you.
One more break. There's one to go. She was a terror on the court, and she'll be a terror to her to opponents this coming year. She's coming up next, last, and certainly not least. Hang tight. You're watching the 2023 UW-Oshkosh Women's Basketball Signing Day Special on W7.
I think we already talked about everything. We're just ready to go.
Yeah. Let's get the ball tipped.
Clutch play.
She finishes. Too easy. Oh my, what a finish.
She does what really great players do. They don't play great all the time, but they sure do when they have to, and she has done that in spades tonight. At the buzzer! Got it! She got it!
Jolly Good Soda. We put the pop in Wisconsin.
Welcome back. As I said, last but not least, a terror on the floor for 4 years from Appleton West. It's Liv Peterson. Liv, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So, Fish, again, we'll get in talking about her place and really what drew you to her. The one thing that stands out for me with Liv was, we did several Appleton West games, and they didn't always have a lot of success, but I always felt like they worked hard. I always felt like they gave full effort. It just, the scoreboard just didn't always end up on the right side for them. And went through a lot of coaching changes, a lot of adversity. But I thought Liv always carried herself really well, very positive, a leader on that floor. Her and City both, I thought, did a really nice job on that team. And I'm anxious for Liv to get some success because she's a hard worker and she deserves that.
Yeah, I mean, Liv's super competitive, and my first looks with her was really with AAU and playing against really good players with really good players. And I think we always talk about seeing everybody in as many situations as possible when you're asked to do different things. So I saw her knock coach's coffee on the floor at 8. It was like 8:03 a.m. in Chicago on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and there's a ball going out of bounds, and Liv dives and twists her body and took out a Division I coach's coffee that was laying on the floor.
Fantastic. Just can you talk about just the process for you of deciding where it is you want to go to school and what led you to Oshkosh?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing was for Oshkosh for me choosing that was honestly I had a really good connection with the coaches off firsthand, just like Mal said. I think, well, it kind of all started with when Coach Fischer told me to try the McGriddle, the chicken McGriddle. That was very
Nice.
good. So I think that's where it started.
Chicken McGriddle? No way!
And nailed it.
Just kidding. But no, when I first met the team too, they were all super sweet. They're people I would like to be around all the time. And I just think the whole aspect of Coach Fischer and Coach Staples and everyone there, they all truly do care about you. And it's not only about basketball for them. And that's the one thing I did really like about them. And it stands out very clearly. So, and the whole family aspect, just like everyone said, that's something I really do look forward to as well.
Are you worried about being too close to home, Liv? I mean, that's pretty close.
So actually, my sister went to Oshkosh, and I literally told my whole family, it's I am not going to Oshkosh. But then I met Coach Fischer and Coach Staples, and I was like, maybe not. But
I know.
My mom did tell me that it's what you make of it. So you don't always have to come home. You don't have to come home. But
right.
So.
Now, you've already got your loft. You've already got practice living on a loft. I mean, you're ready. You're ready to go. I mean, she's probably been practicing
I'm ready.
All 4 of these guys are roommates too, so we'll find out at the end of the year how close they are. So her and Mal are roommates, and then Hope and Ashlyn. So
nice. Well, that was gonna be my last question. Was asking about who's rooming with who. So Liv, you and Mal, huh?
Yep. Yeah, and then Hope and Ashlyn are right next door.
That's a good. You know what? We should do a check-in in January or something and see how it's going.
We've had very few roommate issues in 11 years, so I'm not worried about it. Those two, and so these two were the first 2 committed, Mal and Liv, and so their relationship goes back to before you guys committed, and I think that was a big part for all of us in a comfort level, but it's also why we do it the way we do it. When we knew we were only bringing in 3 or 4 girls, we're pretty open book with these are the other girls we're recruiting. This is why we think the 3 of you and then Ash and the 4 of you can fit together. And the last thing we want is a gym where people think you're competing against each other for playing time. And we're competing together to try to beat whoever we're trying to play. And I think those guys, the relationship helped too and helped, I think, make Liv probably more comfortable with saying yes to us.
Liv, looking back at your time at West, what stands out for you as, hey, I'll always remember this, or I'll never forget this from my time at high school?
I think it was my sophomore year. We played Appleton North, and it went into double overtime, and we ended up playing with 4 girls because everyone else fouled out, and we beat them. So I think that was probably the highlight of my high school career. It was just I don't know, it's just a cool experience.
Well, and I would say another one for you. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you guys beat Kalkana your senior year
earlier this last season. Yeah,
in January. So Kalkana had just played in that tournament in Watertown, and they came out and they went toe to toe with Germantown all the way to the end. And then we look a few days later, they play Appleton West, and Appleton West wins. I'm like, what in the world's going on up at West? So that was pretty cool too. What are you looking forward to, Liv, about getting on campus and getting started?
I'm actually really excited about the rooming situation because we're literally right next door to each other. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
And like Mal said, I know the girls hang out a lot. So I'm super excited for that.
Liv Peterson, that's 4 of 4. We're going to take one last break, and we're going to come back all together for a little Brady Bunch special to close the show out. You're watching the 2023 UW-Oshkosh Women's Basketball Signing Day Special, and you're watching it on W7.
I think we already talked about everything. We're just ready to go.
Yeah. Let's get the ball tipped.
Clutch play.
She finishes. Too easy. Oh my, what a finish.
She does what really great players do. They don't play great all the time, but they sure do when they have to, and she has done that in spades tonight. At the buzzer! Got it! She got it!
Jolly Good Soda. We put the pop in Wisconsin.
Welcome back. The final segment of the 2023 UW-Oshkosh Women's Basketball Signing Day Special. Brad Fischer and all 4 of the class of 2023 coming in this year. Fish, as a group, what really excites you about these guys coming in?
I mean, I start with they're great people, and their parents are great people, and that's kind of the core value of how we end up winning 20 games every year. If you don't have good people and you don't have good families, like on a college team, not everyone's going to play, and not everyone's going to play a ton of minutes. So everyone has to be bought into what you're trying to do. And I'm confident with all 4 of these girls and their families that they understand that it's going to be a little bit different for all of them. Everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, but that they also trust us that we're going to take care of them. And like seeing all 4 of them on the screen is actually a little emotional because it is like a long process. Like
right.
We're talking, back last spring, if not earlier for some of them, the first time we saw them or the first time we talked about them. And then like you have a lot of phone calls and a lot of sleepless nights of like you've invested a lot of time into these guys and you don't have any control over the decision that they make. So like for all 4 of them, once you put the offer out to them, it's just it's a lonely waiting game. Like it's
right.
Coach Staples and I texting each other like, have you heard from her?
Heard anything, right?
And like you're calling the AU coaches being like, what do you think? And so when it actually happens, and now I go to like, what are these next 4 years going to be like? And how good can we make it? How good can our team be? How much fun can they have? Like our tradition on senior day is that I stand after the game and embarrass myself and cry a lot, but talk about exactly, but talk about their 4 years. So I've spent a lot of time as I got older before it starts, like what is the senior speech going to be like for each of them? And I think they all can be great in their own way. They all can help us win a lot of games. I hope that we can deliver on the stuff we talked about in the process. And I'm super excited that like just for them to get on today and talk about it and hear like why they chose us. I hope they know how excited we are to have them, and I'm just super excited to get them there, and I think they're going to be great.
One of the things, and again, I say this in a way that I hope is, beneficial, but, one of the things that that happens is that freshman year can be a challenge, right? I mean, there's going to be some challenges. There's going to be a lot of
self-doubt,
some pitfalls there. I mean, what would you say to them in January to just give us a sneak inside? Like, it's January, you guys have just lost a game and maybe somebody hasn't played as much as they would have liked, or somebody didn't play as well as what they would have liked. What's the message in a situation like that? Not for any individual, just as collectively.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're already in their little mini groups, and hopefully hearing from our older girls and getting to know some of them just to get their comfort level up, because you don't want to show up and feel like you don't know anybody and you're not sure what to do, but yeah, there's going to come a time for all of them. Like we say it during the recruiting process though, and I think one of the things that we do well is I would hope that they feel like we painted the picture of like this is not going to be just a straight line to success.
Right.
Like there's a lot of ups and downs to the process. There's injuries that are going to happen. There's bad things that, a bad test that's going to ruin a day. Like there's all these things that are part of this experience that if they just keep trying to get better, if they come in and communicate their struggles and we can talk through them and talk about how to help it get better, everything will be okay. And I think we've got a long track record of our girls graduating and having great success and going on to crush the world. And that's all I'm hoping. Like I want them to have a great time. I want them to help us win championships, but I want them to leave 4.5 years from now with a degree that has them ready to go crush whatever they want to do.
Right.
And we try to be as upfront as we can about, the struggle that's going to come with it. And I hope that they feel like they've picked the right coaches that'll help them when those struggles happen. And that's what makes me the dad of the team once they get there. Like,
that's right.
We need to take care of them, and we need to make sure that they love their experience even when things don't go perfect all the time. And
right.
I'm super excited to have all 4 of them and try to help them get that.
Well, I'm going to end this with a couple things. So first, we're going to play a little game. Are you guys ready to play a game? So we're going to play a game of when I was 6 and versus now. So here, let me give you an example. When I was 6, I wanted to be a cowboy. Now I'm going to school to be an accountant. or whatever it is. So each of you are
how's your
going to
life
go.
changed?
Yeah, each of you are going to go with, when I was 6, I wanted to do this, and now I'm going to school for this. So let's go backwards order this time. Let's go, Liv, you first.
Okay. So when I was 6, I wanted to be a dolphin trainer. And now I actually changed mine for business. I'm going for social work now. So.
Oh, your social work now. Okay. All right. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a late adjust.
Yeah.
We just did that. We slapped that schedule around a couple weeks ago, so we're ready.
And it may change 3 weeks from now.
And
Who
that'd be
knows?
fine
Right?
too.
That's fine too. That's right. I like the dolphin trainer though. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right, Ashlyn, you're next.
When I was 6, I probably wanted to be like a doctor or something, and I want to be a pharmacist now.
So you stayed stayed in the medical.
Yeah.
You kind of knew right away that's what you wanted to do. So you stayed pretty close to it. Okay,
Yeah.
Mallory.
I guess this is kind of boring, but when I was 6, I wanted to be a teacher, and I'm going to be a teacher.
It's not boring at all. That's knowing yourself. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
What did I say? Mal knows herself better than anybody.
And Hope, what about you?
When I was 6, I wanted to be a veterinarian. But now I'm going to be a social worker.
Fantastic. All right. And then the last thing is I'm going to ask you to say, you're all going to say it at the same time. It's either going to be morning person or sleep in. Okay. So you're all going to answer at the same time. I want to see who says what here. Are you ready?
Think I know these already.
So we'll say wake up early. That's option 1, or sleep in. That's option 2. All right. You'll answer without those words, either wake up early or sleep in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Both.
Somebody said, who said both? So Liv says both. It depends on what's going on that day, right, Liv?
Yes.
The rest of them, did they all say wake up early? Who said sleep? Mal, did you say sleep in?
Yeah.
So Mal said sleep in. And Hope, you're asleep in, and Ashlyn, you're a what? Wake up early?
Yeah, I said wake up early.
Oh, we definitely got to do an update in January to see how that's working out.
6 a.m. practice once in a while, so Ashlyn will be ready.
Ladies, I want to thank you all for a couple things. First of all, I want to thank you for sharing your high school journeys with us. We've had such a great time watching you, and because I'm such good friends with this guy, I just could not have been more excited to hear that you guys were going to continue your education and your careers at a great place. I think it's a great fit for all 4 of you, and as always, I mean, you guys are all part of the W7 family. What that means is if we can ever do anything for you in any way, you just got to reach out and let us know. I'm always here for all of you, any way we can help. But most of all, just great success to you. And the one thing I say is when you come back from school and you're in the gym and you see us over there, you have to come over and say hello. Otherwise, you'll hurt my feelings. So make sure you come over and say hello when you see us in the gym. Ashlyn, I'm not sure if we'll make it over to Prairie du Chien, but you know what? You never know. Never know how things are going to go. But most important of all, congratulations on a great career, and your journey is just beginning, and we're excited to see it unfold at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. Fish, as always, thanks so much for your support
Thank
at W7 and letting us be part of this show. We hope you guys have enjoyed it. We'll be at the WBCA All-Star Game June 28th. All 5 games, live play-by-play, color commentary, players mic'd up, coaches mic'd up. Who are we going to mic up? Who should we mic up on this team, do you think?
Hope probably won't talk enough.
Hope won't talk enough. Ashlyn might. We may put a mic on.
I don't know what
Mal.
Ashlyn. I don't know Ashlyn's team well enough to know if she's gonna. I'm gonna challenge her to talk during this week because I want her to get a dub. But
Mal will get mad and just throw it in the corner, like trying to play here to get this thing out of my way.
Yeah.
All right, hey, congratulations, you guys. Look forward to seeing the next phase, and go Titans.
Bye, guys.
You've been watching the 2023 UW-Oshkosh Women's Basketball Special. Have a great rest of your summer. We'll see you again in the fall. Once again, as always, everything we do, always, always, always for the girls. All right. Thanks, you guys. Great job, all of you.
Thanks, everybody. That was really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.